Welcome, everybody! You have entered a state of Ludumania, formerly known as the Video Game Lodge because I thought that name sounded a little too generic. My name's Mike, and today I'm here to look at Pac-Land. Pac-Land is a real oddity of the very well-known Pac-Man. For the record, this is the TurboGrafx 16 version I'm playing on. Because I just wanted to show off the TG16, what it could do, and how fantastic it was at porting arcade games. That was its main specialty at the time, arcade games and shmups. Um, although, you might best know Pac-Land for Namco Museum Volume 4, and I guess I could have potentially played that too, but I just really like the TG16. It was the little dual processor system that could. Anyway, an oddity with Pac-Land's control is the fact that the buttons are used to run. You hold the right button to go to the right, and the left one to, go left, I believe button 1 is the one on the right in the TurboGrafx 16 controller. And this is the way it was in the arcade as well. You use the control pad to jump, which is also pretty damn strange. So the control can be a little fiddly to work with at first, but it becomes second nature after a while. Familiar to the Pac-Man series is the ability to collect fruit. And, of course, the ghosts are antagonizing him all throughout. Here we even have a moving cherry a la Ms. Pac-Man? Ms. Pac-Man, I should say, sorry about that. There's some odd graphical effects going on with the googly eyes of the ghosts. You may notice, though, that everybody is wearing a hat. And there's a reason for that, and quite a few might not be familiar with this. If they're not familiar with Pac-Man lore, there used to be a Hanna-Barbera animated series where Pac-Man got this design with his sweet hat. About the series in question, I may have only seen like a couple episodes of it, but it had Ms. Pac-Man and Baby Pac-Man, and I guess all the ghosts doing crazy things. I'm not too up on my cheesy 80s animation as much as I'd like to be. But, I want to say this is the first game that had Pac-Man as being humanoid. Oh, shoot, that was stupid. When it comes to those springy boards, you have to jump off of them, and then you have to mash the move button in order to just sort of float around. That's not obvious at first. So then after 3 stages, Pac-Man enters a giant door and ends up in what seems to be a realm ruled by fairies. And there's the Fairy Queen, very Disney-like there. And he gives Pac-Man magical boots with which he can jump infinitely. And what's interesting about these bits is that you have to keep running left instead. And the platforming challenges are a lot more steep, as you can see, but considering that you can basically fly, actually falling down is immaterial. Unless you want to grab those cherries at the bottom, in which case, greed may overcome you. So do watch out. And yes, the ghosts are apparently trying to bomb you with mini ghosts. That's just insane, to say the least. And there's Ms. Pac-Man, and Baby Pac-Man, as it turns out. Or is that Pac-Man Jr.? No, Pac-Man Jr. has a blue hat, I think. A baseball cap, if I'm not mistaken. Alright, so here we go into the second set of levels. Things are a little tougher, like this double-decker bus and a fire hydrant which pushed a glob of water fatally into the bus there. Now, except for the hat, and maybe the nose is a little bit slightly longer, but many people know that Pac-Man is a playable guest character in Super Smash Bros. 4 for 3DS and Wii U. And his appearance is more or less modeled from the early days here. Which I think was a good move, because if anyone's familiar with this new CGI Pac-Man animated series called Pac-Man The Ghostly Adventures, he has these kind of creepy, uncanny human eyes that I don't really approve of. I like his eyes looking like black versions of himself. Just like two little pie slices. Have to do quite a bit of mashing to get across there. Oh, shoot. Unfortunately, Pac-Man is affected by traction, so if you move too fast too quick, you might not be able to stop yourself from skidding into an errant ghost. Here we come to a different level structure. We have to avoid the water. Of course, the hydrant's there. This is where he got his hydrant special from in the Smash series. Oop. And here's a ship, which gives us a bonus. Oh, huh. Don't know how I live for that. Oh, darn it. Now, you see, this is where having to use buttons instead of the control pad to move and precisely guide your movements is a little trickier than it should be. Yeah, of course, the Super Mario Brothers had the factor of traction in it, but it still felt relatively in control, and you could get the science of Mario's movement down pretty quickly. Pac-Man here is a little bit floatier and looser, and I can't blame you if you don't exactly get the control of him that you'd like to. For example, trying to adjust his speed mid-air is a bit of a chore here. And I could have very well lost a life back there. But yeah, Pac-Land is definitely an oddity, and I want to say for its time it was not well received because of how blatantly it deviates from the Pac-Man formula. But it seems to be generally well regarded today. I mean, it made it into Namco Museum Volume 4, as I believe I've said. Ah, there he is without his hat. That's more or less how he looks in Smash nowadays. Also, I like the Pac table there. It's pretty cute. But, Pac-Land is, I think it is pretty fun, even if the control is loose, and, you know, platformy bits like this are a little bit of a chore. Maybe not as bad as that water castle bit back there, but it does get pretty tricky. Oh, a little nasty trap there, as indicated by the skull. There's a semi-invisible pit of quicksand. Grab the power pellet. I'm gonna get that guy, just because I can. Also, when you come to the break time, you can make a jump to get some points. If you time it just right, you'll get a massive score boost of 7650. The 7650 is a number that appears in quite a few Namco games, because that's what's known as the... Oh, that was stupid. That's what's known as the... oh, I can't pronounce this. The goroawase? Ah, shoot. I need the word in front of me and or phonetic pronunciation, but basically 573. Oh, no, that's not 573. Oh, jeez. I'm trying to explain something and it's affecting both my ability to speak and play. So we lost today, but we don't have to like it. Again, I don't know how far this game keeps going before the levels more or less loop over. You see, I still can't get the hang of the movements being switched up. But it looks like we can continue, so I say yes, let's do that. Oh, it's excellent. I forget if you're able to continue the arcade version. I don't guarantee I'll get to whatever the last level of this is, but I'll get a bit farther. Maybe to the end of the 4th stage overall, if I can manage it. But anyway, the goroawase, or however the deuce you pronounce that, maybe I should put an annotation in here. But that's basically the number of something as represented by its name. And the syllables, or the spelling, the Japanese spelling of Namco, Naamko, so to speak. Oh jeez. I am just butchering this pronunciation. Get to the point, Namco means 765, and that number henceforth appears in several of their games, in some form or another. Usually with an O tacked onto the end because it's a significant score. Konami has the exact same thing with 573, Go Na and Mi. But, my Japanese is horribly poor, and I've probably offended a few people who speak it, so... I'm more of a player than a speaker, and I'm still trying to figure out what babble I can throw out that doesn't sound ludicrous. This is still a very rudimentary one-man operation I'm running here. But I'll learn, at least. I can at least play games decently, if not super greatly all the time. So hopefully that'll be the draw, and then the witty banter, or the body banter, and or will improve over time. Anyway, these scenes going back, the 4th level, so to speak, are just laden with ghosts. They're trying to bombard me. But I'm going to be a jerk and get the power pellet right before I get home. Whee! That didn't get me any major points. But yeah, everybody knows Ms. Pac-Man to be sure. Ms. Pac-Man is arguably even more famous than the original Pac-Man, just because mazes are cooler and things are tuned up overall to make for a neater gameplay experience than the original. Not that the original still isn't fun today. You know, maybe a little outdated, but I'm kind of a fogey, and I still like playing classic arcade games very much. Fortunately, getting caught up in nostalgia seems to be costing my performance. Already I lost 2 lives. Oh, this stage is just filled with hydras. Son of a... Oh, power pellet. Very merciful to have this. Okay, maybe I shouldn't get greedy like that, but as it turns out, we were near the end anyway. I don't know what the timing is to get to 7,650 points. But hey, a bonus life! Also, I should note I'm... Oh. Oh, wow, I don't think I've ever gotten this far before. It's a ghost house. Huh. Wow. This is an interesting change of pace. Have to navigate through the doors or get a key for them. I guess the conceit is to try and get through this before the time runs out. Wow, I dig this spooky music change. Oh, that's not gonna help me very much. That's not gonna help me very much either! Shoot. Fortunately, jump power can be a little hard to manage. You need to get a running start. But anyway, as I was saying earlier, I'm recording this pretty late at night, so this seems like a weaker performance than my last few videos. I'm sorry, but I'll throw out a statement based off of the Greatest Hits collection of Primus, one of my favorite bands. They can't all be zingers. I call that the Primus Maxim, so the quality of these videos are likely to range from middling to poor. If they fall on the lower end of the spectrum, all I can say is it's just the law of averages, and I'm a very poor host. So, with that being said, right now, oh, stupid hydrants. Hail hydrants. That was cheesy. If the self-deprecation gets to be annoying, then I'll try and tone down. Ah, shoot. I was thrown off by the fact that these ships actually generate platforms for you. I didn't know they did that. I thought they were just bonus items. Oh, flower. I'm not going to go back and get that. Probably going to fall and plunge into the drink. And here we are at the ferry door. So, whoosh. Alright, how's this going then? How's this going to go? I like the slate motif, and how it sounds panicked when you're running back. Oh! Not quite. Oh. Ugh. Okay, you got me. Damn it, Clyde. At least I'm pretty sure it's Clyde. He was orange originally, but he's taken more of a yellow ghost tone there. Alright, let's enter this properly if we can help it. There we go. Alright. We'll see if we can beat this level at least, and see what the 5th round's like. Oops. Oh, you idiot! You fell for that last time, only this time you fell for it even earlier. Oh my god. Oh. Fudge puffins. That is inexcusably stupid of me. And also, it seems like trying to collect the flower doesn't actually get you any points, so I'm not sure what purpose it serves. Uh-oh. Just right before my house. Look, that's a peeve of mine in a game. When you die just before accomplishing something, especially when it comes to beating up bosses. Oh, that's creepy. Pinky's being a real stalker. But yeah, when you die, like, before beating a level or beating a boss, and then you respawn on the spot, and it's just like, you know, 1 second more, and then you win. Oh, jeez. You know, it's like you have to put in a quarter to win. It just feels so anticlimactic. Takes the sting out of it. Oh, wow, how the deuce did I avoid that? As you can see, the game is not being nice anymore. Wow, do you really expect me to do this? Can I even do that? Oh boy. I don't guarantee my abilities are going to be adequate for whatever this challenge seems to be, but we'll give it a shot! Alright, this is starting to get kinda hairy, to say the least. Alright, I'm just gonna ignore the power pellet. Might be to my detriment, but, everything's starting to feel like a big risk here. Wow. They really expect me to use that board from back there, while the ghosts are trying to get to me. Just so I can clear this? Well, I did it. Screw you, game. Oh, jeez, double quicksand. Ugh. this is getting, pretty ugly, to say the least. Also, I apologize if there's been any breaks in the video. If you've seen the Be Right Back screen, then I guess I will plug the hardware I'm using. Software. No, it's 12:25 a.m. and I have work tomorrow, so I probably shouldn't be doing this, but screw it. Anyway, I'm using XSplit Gamecaster to record this, which is a pretty neat piece of technology, which assimilates the viewpoint of your gameplay screen. And you don't have to set any borders whatsoever, it just sets the exact resolution of, oh, that was stupid, of what you're playing, without too much more arrangement than just clicking and recording. Now, I'm really bad at technical jargon, so that explanation sucked, but if you can run it, then I definitely recommend looking into it. I mean, it's allowing me to show this really horrendous run of Pac-Land, which is slowly mutating into a tragic comedy right before our very eyes. Let's take some really precise platforming here, and once again, still not getting used to the concept of buttons as movements, so... Like, the only other game I can think of that does that is Buriki 1, a very rare fighting game by SNK, where you move with 2 buttons and you fight with the joystick. Now, that's a Hyper Neo Geo 64 game, and it would be my dream to run that someday if I could. But so far, the hardware is unemulatable. MAME's apparently working on it, though. But I hardly digress. It seems that we've come to another ghost house. Same deal as last time, and I cannot get past these doors. Oh crap, did I completely waste my key? Am I going to have to bite it on purpose in order to advance? Oh yes, oh, that is a mean trick. The game really isn't screwing around anymore. I have to save these keys now and not run into any doors until I'm sure that I can't progress without having to use one. Wow, that is nasty. That's probably stuff that wouldn't fly for modern game design because it's just needlessly cruel to the player. Sort of like Sierra video game design philosophy. Maybe not quite as malicious, but anyone who's played a Sierra adventure game from the 80s, you get the picture. And maybe I'll cover one of those someday, but I'm getting way off topic. Oh, I couldn't jump over Pinky, so... And yes, I am taking drinks of water because my voice peters out really easily when speaking for an extended period of time, so it's good to have a little coolant on the side. I haven't learned to speak away from the mic whenever I need to make noises, so... Unfortunately, it seems I can't get past those ghosts, so I'm just going to have to use the keys as they are. Blinky looks so incredibly sad in this game. Now, what's his deal? Oh, you stupid jerks. Let me through already. Wow, I actually did it. Unfortunately, I'm almost out of time. Let's see if we can rush to the exit from here. Fat chance. Nope. It's a fail. Oh. So that's what happens. I believe that is the ghost Sue who chases you. Oh, we got to the end. Ooh, she laces behind you very slightly, but Sue gets serious once you run out of time. You're not dead yet, but if you don't hightail it, you're basically out. And the Fairy Queen bestoweth upon me yon magical boots of infinite jumping. So what sort of BS are we going to face on this sojourn backwards? Is this just going to be like a... Okay. Oh, hey, bonus life. That was not an infinite water pit, but the ghosts are strangely absent here. Huh. Where is anyone? Hello? Talking about your anti-climax. Seriously, what's going on here? Oh, hey, there's Clyde. Huh. Well, I haven't gotten to the house yet, so... Okay, there we are. Nope, not just yet. It seems we're almost already out of time, so we gotta make the most of what we have here. Alrighty. That was actually surprisingly easy. Lengthy, but not really that much of a pain at all. Alright, that's 5 rounds all in all, or trips as they're known as. It's only going to get rougher from here on out, and I think I've showed as much variety as I possibly can, so... we're going to cut the video after I lose the next 2 lives. Of course, maybe I'll stay alive for 10 more minutes, and... Oh, I should not have stopped there. Bad judgment call. Oh, whoops. That would have been a really embarrassing point to lose there. But hey, we got to the end of that round at least. It's a cliffside. I really got, my butt kicked, last time I was at one of these, so... Expect that to happen now. Oh, whoa! Oh. Huh. That was weird. And... plop. Oh well, it'll happen. But, I think that was a pretty substantial run all in all just now, so... We'll consider that a wrap for the time being. Unless I want to show off another version of Pac-Land in the future, but TurboGrafx 16 Port was basically the most perfect version you could get before Namco Museum Volume 4. It's quite a fun game, really weird one, but if you wanted to see how platformers were before Super Mario Bros. Came along, then that's pretty much one of the very few examples you can get. So, thank you for joining in on this episode of Ludumania. I'm Mike, and I'm not the best host, but I at least hope this is being somewhat entertaining for you so far. Don't know what I'll cover next, but I'll certainly give it some thoughts, so take care and continue to play games, hopefully better than I do.